Hi there. Welcome to Pateo Television. My name is Johan Oldenkamp and I'm the presenter of Pateo TV. In this episode, I will talk about the alleged disaster with the Challenger in 1986. And actually, this will be episode 30 of Pateo Television. Let me switch off my camera. Hopefully you know by now that the moon landings, the lunar landings from 1969 and the next years after that are all staged. If you don't know that yet, then please do your own research. You can also watch episode 5 of Pateo TV, in which I give all the facts that I found in my research. But NASA is lying to us big time. Yeah, that's why some say NASA means never a straight answer, and that's true, because NASA is indeed not telling us the truth. Some even go further and say NASA means neither any space adventure, and that also is very true. And now we can add a third one to this, because nearly all staged accidents. And I will prove later on that what we saw in the Challenger disaster, the alleged disaster of the Challenger in 1986, was indeed staged, at least partially. This is the official meaning of NASA, and let's look at the word here. Aeronautics. What does it mean? Well, we know what an astronaut means. Astro is a reference to the stars, and naut is a reference to nautical, so sailing. So somebody who's sailing to the stars or in between the stars or whatever, but sailing in the stars or with the stars or to the stars. But it doesn't say astronautics here, it says aeronautics. So what does it mean? It means literally sailing the air. Somewhere up in the air they are sailing. And this name is very true. NASA is giving us the true name here. So they don't lie. Their name is correct, but everything else is lying. And they want to be the space administration. They want to be the administrators who are controlling our ideas of space. Let us look how far they actually go into space. And then we see they don't even go into space. They stay within the atmosphere, because the altitude of the space shuttles and the International Space Station, really silly name actually, but I'll come back to that, is about 250 miles or about 400 kilometers. So that's not too far away from the outer side of the crust of our home planet. Yeah, the surface of our home planet, and then 400 kilometers up. That's about 3% from the diameter. So this is the diameter, and then 3% higher than that, that is where we find the so-called space activities. Well, that's not space, that's still up in the air. You can clearly see space is not there yet. This is still the atmosphere. So everything that we see brought to us from NASA is still up in the air, still within the atmosphere, not in space. So we need to use correct names. For instance, this is an aeroplane. It's not a space shuttle. No, it's not in space. It doesn't go into space. It stays within the atmosphere. So it's an aeroplane. And this is not an International Space Station either. This is an aerostation. It's up in the air. And this is an aeronaut. Aeronaut. So it's not an astronaut. No, it doesn't go to the stars. It stays within the atmosphere. So we should change all these names. We should talk about aeronauts and aeroplanes and aerostations. And this is that International Aerostation. And you can see how actually low it is going around our home planet. It's not that high. Of course, 400 kilometers is rather high. That's 40 times higher than a Boeing, when you take a flight with a Boeing. But it's not that really high at all. And the same is true for these shuttles. These are outer atmosphere shuttles. They go up into the atmosphere and then they come back. But that is not space. We Definitely not call these shuttles space shuttles, because they don't go to space. They stay within the atmosphere. So these aeronauts were boarding this flight, or this takeoff from the Apollo 13 mission. And yeah, this is also a story that was blown up big time by mainstream media and the NASA, of course. But these three aeronauts, I think they boarded this this rocket. I don't doubt that, but they didn't went into space at all. Yeah, they stayed within an orbit within the atmosphere. And the numbers are very meaningful, because this was Apollo mission 13, and most people are suspicious about 13. They think it brings bad luck. On the other hand, we find 13 references to the number 13 on a USA $1 bill, as I've explained also in one of my episodes of Pateo TV. And the launching moment was 13 hours and 13 minutes on April the 11th in 1970. So 1313. This is all meaningful to me. And on April 13, so another 13, the oxygen tank exploded. But see where it is. It is still not out in space. It's still in the atmosphere. That's where that problem was occurring. So it was actually a shipwreck up in the air. And all numbers are meaningful. We see that there are 7 missions. We're planning manned missions to go to the lunar surface. What this was all staged, of course, is all completely fake. NASA does not officially have the technology to go into space with manned missions, because they don't know how to go through the Van Allen radiation belt. But that's something I explained in other videos as well. But look at the numbers here, because they're all meaningful. Yeah, the 13th didn't go to the so-called lunar surveys, but it's all studio-based, of course, it's all fake. But the numbers are meaningful. 777 has everything to do with the number 7. 555, 5 means change, and this is 33. This is 741, and this is 11. Yeah, when you're not familiar with numerology, then probably this will not make any sense to you. Please study my work, and then you'll discover how meaningful all these numbers are. These dates were not picked randomly. They all have meaning. And so NASA is a bunch of liars. 7 Up. If you understand alchemy, then you know the meaning of 7 Up. If you understand the true meaning of the first chapter of Genesis, then you know the meaning of 7 Up. This name was not invented either by accident. It has a clear meaning. And there are 7 missions here. So 7 times they try to go up and go to the so-called surface of the moon Luna. Well, it's all staged. Now, what about the launching date of this mission with the this aeroplane? It was launched on 1986 on January 28th. And look at this timing, 11:38, but 3 plus 8 is another 11. So everything is meaningful. Nothing happens by chance. It's all worked out very fine by them. This is a 7. January is a 1. And 28 is also a 1. 2 plus 8 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is a 1. So 711, 711. And look at this. 1 plus 6 is a 7, and 3 plus 8 is indeed an 11. 711 again. 711. September 11, actually the month September means 7th month. So September 11 is actually also a kind of 711. These were the 7 passages. Again, the number 7. Yeah, and this was mission STS-51L. And STS, the numerological value is 121, 121. And 121 is the square of 11. Everything has meaning to me. And if you add these all up, so first you make from each letter a cipher, get this, and then you add them all up, you get 13. Coincidence? I don't think so. And then exactly after 37 seconds, well, a little bit more, meaning 1 minute and 13 seconds later after the liftoff, there was this huge explosion, and all aeronauts allegedly died. And that was a huge shock. All 7 die. Headlines in the Los Angeles Times. Teacher on board. Yeah, teacher's pupils. Friends watch with horror. So the pupils and the friends watch with horror because she allegedly died. Here we see the teacher. Yeah, her name was Krista McAuliffe. And other passengers were Allison Onizuka, Michael John Smith, Gregory Jarvis, he was the captain, Dick Scobie, Janet Resnick, and Ronald McNair. These were the 7 passengers, alleged passengers of this exploding aero shuttle. Yeah, it's so hard to remember the correct names. This video was put on the internet on July the 15th of this year, so just a week ago when I'm recording this video. And it was in German, and I know that many people do not speak German, so that's why I make this video now in English, so that also English-speaking people can understand what really went on. Klagemauer TV, that means the wall, the Wailing wall, is it the correct English word? Anyway, in Jerusalem. And their website is kla.tv. And if you type in then /8628, then you get this video. You can also go to my website, pateo.nl, and go to the German section. There you immediately find it under the news. This video lasts 25 minutes. And the title is, in German, Werden wir an der NASA herumgeführt? Well, NASA sounds almost the same as Nase. And in German that means nose. And that is literally translated into English, are we led by the nose, by NASA? And the answer is yes. Wenn tote Astronauten auferstehen, when dead astronauts rise from the dead. Now that's the title and the subtitle of this video. And what did they find? Well, they did research and they found that at least six of these alleged astronauts, so aeronauts, are still alive today. Or they have a very good look-alike. Only for the captain of this flight, they could not find anyone who is him or like him. And after this alleged accident, it took NASA 3 years to continue. So they had 3 years time to find a better way to fool the public. And then on September 29, and 29 is an 11 again, 2 plus 9 is 11, so it's also kind of September 11. Then the Discovery was sent into the outer atmosphere. And 11, 37, 3 plus 7 is a 1, so this is a trinity of 1s. Anyway, this guy allegedly died with the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie, his full name is Francis Richard Scobie, and this man is still alive, and he's also named Richard Scobie. He's the CEO of a marketing advertising company in Chicago named Cows in Trees. And if you go to cowsintrees.com, you can see this rather remarkable video. Yeah, this opening video of this website. Looks like something is exploding in space, isn't it? Or in the outer atmosphere, isn't it? And are we perhaps cows that we believe the lies of NASA? Or is NASA about cows in space? I don't know, but I think there's a pun here somewhere. But look at the similarity between these faces. Is it true that this is the same man? Well, it most certainly looks like that. And then there's a resemblance between these two men. Allegedly, this Claude Onizuka is the younger brother of Allison Onizuka. But some claim, no, this younger brother never existed. It is the same guy. Possible. And then Judith Resnick became Judith Resnick because this woman has the exact same name. But it did not find the middle name of Arlene with her. And she is now a law teacher at Yale, the Yale Law School. Yeah, you can even find her profile when you go to internet and you type in this. Is this the same woman? Well, it could very well be. And then this, Ronald McNair. He allegedly had a twin brother. Isn't that remarkable? Yeah, the German research could not find any evidence of the existence of this so-called twin brother before 1986. But now this twin brother is of course still alive, and probably he is the same man, just under a different name. And he's now CEO of McNair Achievement Programs. So maybe it was a huge achievement that he pretended to be somebody else while he in fact is a dead aeronaut, an alleged dead aeronaut. And he even wrote a book about his alleged twin brother. Isn't that remarkable? And then Michael John Smith. Michael J. Smith is still alive as Michael J. Smith, now as a former professor of industrial and systems engineering at the University of Wisconsin and Madison. Look at the similarity between these faces. It very much looks like the same man. What do you think? And about Sharon McAuliffe. Yeah, there is now a woman named Sharon A.A. McAuliffe. So the middle names are different. It's not Krista, but it now turned into A.A. And she is an adjunct professor at the Syracuse University and also the College of Law. So both women on board of that aero-shuttle Challenger were somehow becoming teachers or professors of law. So it all very much looks fishy. What do you think? I think the claim from the German researchers that these people did not die on January the 28th in 1986 is very legitimate, and that they are still alive, and some even under the very same name. And the story even continues because look at the face of this woman, Sharon McAuliffe. Here you see Sharon McAuliffe, and here you see another aeronaut, Laurel Clark. How similar can these pictures be? Of course, the eyes look a little bit different, but you can do anything with contact lenses, so it very much looks the same woman. At least they look very similar to me. I'm not an expert, but to me this is very remarkable. And this Laurel Clark was on board of the 113th launch of a so-called space shuttle, of an aero-shuttle. And that launch was on January 16th in 2003. And that was mission STS-107. Again, a 7 and a 1. This mission was delayed 18 times. So there were other missions with higher numbers before the actual liftoff of this mission. And when you add up the numbers of these dates, you reach again 13. Isn't this remarkable? And also this was an accidental mission. Here you see the 7 people who were on board of that mission, STS-107. And here you see Laurel Clark, yeah, one of the 7. And also this mission exploded, not on the way up, but on the way down. And it exploded over the states of Texas and Louisiana. And that happened on February the 1st at this time. And that was exactly, or more or less, just a few days less, 17 years later. Again, a 1 and a 7. Mission 107, 70 years later. 7 dead again. And what to think about this photo that I found on internet? I think this is not an authentic photo, because if it is clearly photoshopped, because something is very wrong here. The name United States on the side is much larger and on the wrong spot than where it has to be, because this is the real shuttle Columbia, the aero-shuttle Columbia. If you enjoy this kind of explanation, then I strongly advise you to start doing the video course on Holy Science. It's an online video course, and it consists of 30 parts, and the total playing time is 53 hours and 35 minutes. And Holy Science is the wholesome reunion of sane science and sound spirituality. The science that we find at the universities is by far not sane, and the spirituality that we find in the religions is by far not sound. And if you want to learn more about that, visit my websites. Yeah, if you enjoy my work, you can also follow me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Simply click on subscribe under this video, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can see my code here, my URL, or you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter name is Holy Science, or you can go to Facebook. I'm not doing that myself. Other people do this for me, but you can also like this page, and then you get updates on Holy Science. And of course, you can go with your internet browser, anyone you like, to pateo.nl. There are 10 different languages there, including English, and holyscience.org is an all-English website. Yeah, you can either go to pateo.nl or to holyscience.org. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Namaste.